So I'm going to show you just the very basics of what you need to get started with home recording. This is my home recording studio. I just have a regular television, and I'll show you the equipment. All you need is a computer of some sort. I use a Mac Mini. They're very affordable. They're Apple, so they interface with all the Apple stuff. And then you need some kind of interface to plug into. I use the Scarlett Focusrite. You can plug in a microphone. You can plug in a 1/4 to 1/4 inch. And then you can do headphones out. And you can also do out to powered speakers. I'm just using a monitor here. And then I also use a headphone splitter, so I can use 2 headphones. You can say I just have the microphone set up there. And then the 1/4 inch cable can go to my piano, just straight out of the out thing, or just plug in any guitar. So I have everything set up to just do all of my tracks right here. So I use GarageBand. It comes for free, and it's perfectly sufficient for everything that I try to do. This is one of my songs from my recent album called Pounce. You can see I always start with the drums. You want to start with figuring out what your beats per minute are, the pace of your song, and what key it's in. That's very important for everything else you're doing later, is figure that out first. So first I just do, you can add a drummer. And you can see it adds this track, and then you can go into double click, and you can mess around with different settings for drum patterns and just play around until you find something you like. Next track, I've taken just a sound effect of a tiger growling, and you can slow down, you can do all sorts of reverse playbacks, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with it. Then I have my piano tracks. So one's loud, one's kind of quiet off to the side, you can see. I have some keys in there. And I have a little guitar that's a little flange on it. I really wish that I had something. Bass. And then I have several vocal tracks. They all sound terrible by themselves, but
it maybe just bounce.
Then I have this background crowd noise to make it sound like you're in a club. Then I have chimes. Let's go ahead to the, okay. Here's some MIDI stuff. So you can create a MIDI track just by going, use MIDI track. And then I always just do, create MIDI region, do my own MIDI region. You just double click on it. Oops. And then you can add the notes one at a time just by going create note. And then you can also do, you can make it be drums, you can make it be synth, you can make it be whatever. So let's go a little further, get to the guitar solo part. So it's a double track guitar solo. And it's actually, this is an acoustic guitar, but I've put effects on it. That's what it really sounds like. So you can actually just use like a regular, this is a nylon string acoustic, but sounds good. And all of these, I'm just plugging in directly using this interface. So I'm not using my amp, I'm not trying to use the microphone or anything. These are all just direct in. And so I can change on any of these, I can change the panning to make it more left, more right. I can change the volume on any individual track. And for every individual track, I can go down here and do all sorts of stuff. I always use compression and channel EQ on every track. It's very important to get the right compression and right channel EQ, but you can always just play around with them. And then if I want to do like create a volume fade out at the end, it's right there. And then if I want to share this, if I want to save it, I can just say export song to disk, and I can save it in my iCloud and save it as like an MP3 or a WAV file. So it's very helpful for just having all of my files out here. I can listen to them on my phone when I'm walking or whatever. I can share them with people. So that's the quick overview of everything that you need to output a song.